Welcome to The Right Reasons. I'm Juliette Littman.
And I'm David Jacoby.
Challenge. Let's do it.
It's coming to a finish. Action-packed week on the challenge this week.
It's almost like it was multiple episodes because so much happened.
So much happened.
I think we got to start by talking about the Naya situation.
Let's just see how we got here first.
Okay.
All right, you're on top of a building. You're in Panama. You're hanging off it. You have to climb down some ropes. Some people do better than other people. Guess who does the best?
Sarah and Jordan.
Sarah and Jordan, of
With
course.
only 3.5 hands.
With
Everyone else gets 4. They have 3.5.
Again, I'm going to say it again. Jordan, don't want to have a beer with Guy, especially don't want to have a beer with Guy after seeing his facial hair in the after show. But I respect him so much.
So much. He's a legitimately amazing athlete.
And to be fair, if I was in a bar and I saw him, I'd probably have a beer with him.
Oh, absolutely.
I would probably go up to be like, Jordan, hey, I'm a big fan. Can I get you a Coors Light?
I would just want to talk about his athleticism. It's amazing. Like, what is his training?
It's mental too, man.
It's true. It's true. Like the chip on his shoulder like motivates him to do better. It's pretty crazy.
He what Allen Iverson is to the NBA, he is to the challenge.
Right. Okay. So Naya and Leroy are in the dome because they lost. They straight up lost because Naya sucked. Is actually why.
Well, first of all, if you think back, you're like, okay, there's Naya. She didn't even compete in that like hanging over water thing. She just jumped off it because she couldn't stand up.
She couldn't even stand. I know. At least like I probably couldn't stand either. I'm really clumsy and awkward. But at least I would try and then fall over.
You could stand like it's a pretty big square.
It's nice of you to think that. I don't know.
No, I don't really think that. I'm just trying to let the people at home think you're a little bit athletic or something.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. But like at least try. Naya didn't even try. She just jumped off. And like if she was worried about like embarrassing herself because she wasn't athletic, this was so much worse.
But then she comes back and then she falls on the first rope as a female. Leroy just goes down the whole thing.
He's the only one who made it the whole way.
And another thing is you could clearly tell that no one really understood the rules because at the beginning while TJ was explaining the rules, this was like a producer thing, they switched to like a clearly different audio track of TJ explaining a little rule caveat. You know what I mean?
I think what happened was they originally said like it's like the composite or like the total of how far you go. So like
it's not.
But no, it's just like where as far as you go as a team.
Exactly. It's kind of like it's like shuffleboard. It's like your closest one.
You're only as good as
your worst teammate.
Yeah, exactly. But they made it seem like Leroy's 5 plus Naya's 1.5.
One would make 6 and everyone else only got whatever. Yeah, totally.
But that's not how it went down.
Not how it went down. And so then they're faced with on the spot. I like the on the spot thing.
It really mixes things up.
TJ's like, he's like, you have to put someone in to the final elimination. And then Sarah's like, now?
Right.
And they're like, yes.
Now.
And
so
go through the groups that are left. We have Jay and Jenna, the rookies, who are clearly not a threat to beat anybody at anything ever.
The phone number collectors.
Yeah, the phone number collection. And then we've got Naya and Leroy.
They're automatically going in.
They're automatically in. And then we've got Sarah and Jordan, who won, and then Bananas and the Bananis.
Banani.
Yeah, so Banani is either Banani or Jay and Jenna are going in. And the choice has to be made.
And it seemed like Jordan wanted to go safe and throw in the rookies.
Yes.
And Sarah's like, nah. Hard pass on that. We're making the smartest move for ourselves to win. We're throwing in Team Banani.
Yes.
And Johnny flips out.
Well, what happened is Jordan's like, let's throw in the rookies, and then Sarah's like, no, we're gonna throw in Banani, and then they like cut real quick to like what seemed like 5 seconds later, but was probably like 50 minutes later of them arguing,
right?
And then like Sarah has the final answer. She's like, we're putting in Bananas and Nani, and Bananas just goes, you're kidding, right?
Come on, Sarah.
Come on.
He's like,
you're kidding, right?
This can't be real.
Yeah, this you're kidding.
And it's like, no, Johnny, she's making the smartest move possible.
Again, anytime you're voted into an elimination, you have to act like what, Juliette?
An asshole.
Like someone kidnapped your baby. You have to act like someone kidnapped your baby when you get thrown into elimination.
It's so absurd. It's almost like I know people hate it when they say this. It's like almost like a compliment. Like when someone like breaks up with you and it's like you're too good for them. It's like, well, if I'm too good for them, like why aren't I with them or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like with Johnny, it's like you're such a good athlete, they want to throw you in. And
it doesn't come off that way.
No.
And then so that leaves Naya and Leroy. That has implications for them too, because they're automatically in. They could have had a cakewalk, not a dope walk. Shout to Ferg. They could have had a cakewalk into the final if they had Jay and Jenna to compete in the final.
I just want to say one thing with Jay and Jenna is they have made it this far. I do think they would have lost in the dome, but they're not nothing.
They won the trivia challenge, okay? And they never won
but
anything
model,
else.
You know, it's so distracting. She's a model.
Yeah, she's a model. Did you see that she couldn't eat seafood?
Yeah, so she's just. you know what? Let's move on. I don't have anything positive to say. So
No, I like when you go negative, Juliet.
it's just like a really immature thing. Like not even to try the food. I don't like the smell. I don't eat any seafood. Just like, come on, it's not all the same. Not all seafood's created equal.
It's not.
Like, just give it a shot. I mean, I feel like you must have been particularly upset as a soup man. You like all soups.
She wouldn't dip it in the broth.
I know.
Dip it in the broth.
Bread and broth is like just always delicious, unless it's like truly disgusting broth. Like
No such thing.
Yeah, like,
I can't even think of a disgusting broth.
I mean, me neither. I don't know. Like, I have no respect for Jenna on any level. Dating Zach, not eating seafood, and like, I don't know. She just is not. She's not for me.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything you were saying. I was thinking of disgusting broths, and I found one.
What?
Borscht.
Interesting. I don't think
It's
I've
like
ever
vinegar and cabbage.
I don't think I've ever had borscht.
I don't think I have either, but I know it's vinegar and cabbage.
And the color of it's so unappealing.
Let's move on.
Okay. Soup podcast later.
Soupcast later.
Jacoby on soup for more thoughts.
Exactly.
Anyway, I just don't get down.
So
Jenna.
if you are Naya, you feel a certain way because you're like, look, like the whole plan was for, us three to be in the finals,
Yeah.
the strongest teams. Let's be real competitors. So she's upset at them for making that move. And also, you understand Sarah's logic, right?
Right.
I'm giving there's $250,000 at stake. All
Sarah's
right?
never won.
Never won before.
She's been on 9 challenges.
She's giving, that's a job. She's giving herself, God, that's a job.
I know.
She's giving herself
haven't
the
done
best
any-
chance to win.
Right.
You can say I haven't done anything 9 times?
Yeah, I haven't done anything for 9 years, but then I was like, well, I mean, whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, okay, good. Let's just move on. It makes sense, the move they made.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make it, it's just like, of course, that's who they would throw in.
If this was like the NBA,
Yeah.
and you could make these similar type of you could make these similar type of decisions. Greg Popovich wouldn't be like, you know what? I want to play the best 2 teams before we
Right.
get to the finals.
I love to win by giving myself the hardest
This
challenge
competition.
possible.
I think that we really need to form this team's bond by getting
No.
through adversity. Like, no. We will play the Knicks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me a ring, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. So it made complete sense. And then the thing that Naya went down a very bad path, and it started off really bad when instead of just being mad that she didn't get the easier team, to me it seemed like she was trying to like be on Johnny's side and be like, oh, you threw in bananas because like you're scared or like you're weak, so you want a weak team. She didn't try to like make it seem like she was mad that she had to go against bananas. She just tried to make it seem like she was mad on Banana's behalf. I thought that was weird. Like
It was weird, and it was also like at one point Jordan said this, and it's like easily to get lost if you're watching the episode. He's like, you quit on one challenge and were the reason you lost the last challenge, but you're like the loudest person in the house right now.
I just want it's amazing, like Jordan, like all these people, if you boil them down to one bite, you're just like, wow, this is the smartest, most insightful person in the world.
Here, that's the thing. It's like he probably is like and watching Jordan and Sarah sit on the couch and sort of be ostracized from the rest of the house while everyone else is like pointing and giggling and saying mean things about them. Like I was team Sarah and Jordan during that scene.
Of course. Also, I would have been weeping. My face would have been bright red. Like I can't like ever keep my emotions off my face, and so which you know.
Yeah, yes.
And so I would just been like crumbling like in front of them. I would have been so upset.
Are they allowed to go for like a walk to the corner store?
I don't know.
Like I don't know if they are.
They were in a hotel room in Panama.
So I don't care. Like I think you can still be like, yeah, guys, like I'm gonna take 5 and get some air and
like,
not get yelled at.
Go to like the production room or like the roof of the
Anything.
building.
Like I think you're allowed. It's like
Lock
it's
yourself
still
in the
like
bathroom.
a free country. Like you can do something. Is it a free country? I think so.
Panama, no
Who
clue.
knows? I don't even know what the delineations are. Let's
Literally
move on.
no idea.
I have no idea what makes something a free country. What
But like,
doesn't.
why not lock yourself in the bathroom? That's a move. They don't go in the bathroom with you. Like, there's
Yeah,
so many places.
I would just go for a walk. I'd be like, I'll be back. And the
I know.
production's like, no. I'll be like, what? Like, why?
I guess everyone just wants to seem like a tough guy, or also like, I guess you wouldn't want to let Naya get under your skin. Like everything she's doing is to provoke you, and to be provoked is to let her win.
Yeah. So then she continues, because she has history with Jordan. If you remember, a lot of people don't, but we do because we're nerds. Is on the Portland season, like there was this whole Naya had this whole thing where like, how do I say, every man in the house was not blessed genitalia wise is like her whole thing. And so she had that like accusation about Jordan. There's this pool table thing where she was threatening to like orally coitus him, and he's like, come on and do it. And it was like this whole back and forth.
Who was the third guy in that season? Jordan, Johnny Riley,
Johnny, and Texas guy,
yeah.
the football player, Wavy
Marlon.
Marlon. Yeah. The young
Sorry.
wavy movement. And like So then she accuses him of like being homosexual,
Yeah.
right? But she does it doing the meanest, most demeaning way, using the words that like they had to beep out that like no one uses.
She just seemed like a bigot. She did.
Yeah, she totally did. And then she just like she goes on to be like, the gay community loves me.
They're gonna have no problem with this.
Yeah, they love me.
Which is so offensive unto itself. Like there's only like one. It's like a monolith. Like and everyone in it loves you.
Yeah. But it's like I have a bunch of gay friends, Juliet, but I don't think they represent this worldwide community.
Do you represent the entirety of Amherst, Massachusetts?
I like to think so, but that's probably not the case. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just like, yeah, like the sampling, like your 4 or 5 friends, like they're probably not gonna turn their backs on you, but like this is an entire like worldwide millions of people thing, and they don't like you using these words and saying things like this. They don't have your back.
It was ugly behavior. That's the only way I know how to say it.
It really was, and I think that there's a way of being mean to one person, which I totally get. Like if you're mad at somebody, like by all means, especially on reality TV, and you're gonna get airtime, like be mean to them, but like don't involve millions and millions of bystanders.
And also just don't be a bigot. Like that's like,
yeah,
you just seem ignorant and small. And like I don't think Naya necessarily is. I think she has no temper, and I mean I think she just loses her temper like really crazy.
Yeah.
And I think she is dramatic and likes to be on reality TV. Like I don't know her to say you're a small person, but like it's just that's the way she comes off.
Yes, I think that she's one of those like live in the moment, apologize the next day people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She just doesn't think through her actions.
Like one of those friends I have that like I play pickup basketball with, and they like get all crazy during a game. I'm just like, this isn't the real. You know what I mean? This isn't the real them right now.
Yeah, totally. And then she escalates it further by going over to Jordan's crotch and like pointing her finger and like touching his dick area.
Yes.
And
his derriere. Yeah.
And it was over the pants.
The dick area, we'll go with.
Dick area? Okay.
Yeah.
She went for the dick area.
It was a poke in the dick area and like a semi-grab nuzzle in the dick area.
And he seemed like surprised by it. And then it was very quick, and then she kind of pulled back, and they moved on. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was I had read online that she was going to be kicked off for sexual assault.
Yes,
so I knew something like that was coming. I didn't really know what, and it just seems like they just kind of drew a hard line in the sand. Jordan said it best when he was like, "I can't touch you, you can't touch me.
You can't touch me." And so the way it played out on screen was they're all sitting around about to have dinner, and TJ walks in and it's like, "Naya, get all your stuff and come with me."
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I dissected the scene. I only watched it once, but like they had a lot of cutaways to Jordan, which sort of hinted that Jordan like knew what this is about. So like the question I posed to you is from what you saw, did you think that Jordan went to production and complained about that behavior?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That doesn't help a podcast conversation, Juliet. You're like, maybe.
No, I didn't think he did.
I don't think he did either.
I thought that the reason it was so unclear it was happening, why TJ was so secretive and didn't say, was because production was trying to buy time, because they probably had decided that Naya was going to go, but then they weren't sure what to do about Leroy. They weren't sure how the next steps were. So I think Jordan like maybe had a conversation. He also probably did his confessional in that time or something.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he had like spoken to producers. I think we've learned from the Real World, from them breaking down the fourth wall, they have a lot more contact with the producers than I think we realized.
Than we've been given over the years.
They have to get demiked every day. So
all of that.
At the very least, they have to take a shower. If they're not Brit, they're showering every day.
Yeah.
So they have to they talk to the producers more than we realized. Remember when Frank Sweeney was here? He was like, "Oh, that's my favorite producer." Like, there's enough contact to have a favorite, you know?
Of course. I mean, and also they're like in the same room as you all the time.
Right.
So like you're gonna like no matter who that is, like it'd be a serious challenge if someone's in the same room with you for 3 months and you didn't have a relationship with them. It'd be impossible.
Exactly. So no, I don't think he complained. Yes, I think there was a conversation.
And another thing that production did, whether intentionally or not intentionally, is this is all you have to put yourself in the shoes of the contestants at this point, and they all know the final's imminent. Right? And someone just like, all right, come on, you're going. It feels like the beginning of a final. Like maybe this is like how it starts.
Right.
You know, maybe
also,
you have
they've
to like.
all done this so many times that I think they're experts. Sarah has been there for 9 seasons.
9 seasons.
And she's like, oh, what's happening? So I don't know. It was.
I think if Jordan had stormed off and said like you're gonna get sent home now, and then had a conversation, when Naya was pulled like that, they wouldn't react the way they did. They wouldn't react with this kind of like, oh, what happened?
Right. They all would have been like, oh, Jordan talked.
And there was also
so
clearly a couple days before Teresa came back, and spoiler whatever, like Teresa ends up replacing Naya as Leroy's partner.
So lucky.
But she mentions that she was home.
Right.
So she had to fly from Panama to home and then fly Wisconsin. Really?
Yes.
She doesn't strike me as a Wisconsinner.
So she went to Marquette at the same time as Challenge fan Wes Matthews.
Really?
Yes. Just want to throw that out there.
No, nothing else to add?
That's it.
That's all?
Just want to say they were at Marquette at the same time.
Nothing else?
That's it. All
That's
I got.
all?
Wes
Okay.
Matthews loves the challenge.
All you got or
Also,
all you want to say?
All I want to say. Also,
Okay.
I love Wes Matthews. Get well soon.
Get well soon, Wes. Get Wes soon.
Get-
It's our second favorite Wes.
True.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wes Bergman.
Yep.
Anyway, so Teresa had to fly to. That
So there's a
sucks, by the
3-day
way.
gap.
Hope she got first class.
Yeah,
That
16
sucks.
hours. She's definitely not first class. That's like a $5,000 ticket. So that's a long time because you remember that scene during the commercial, which I love, when Leroy's at the bar with that gorgeous Norwegian bartender, and he's like, "So, can you swim?" Remember that thing?
Yeah.
With the Podbuster. So they're out at a bar drinking, kind of knowing they don't have to do the challenge, the elimination, the final the next day. So I think production was like, "Hey guys, like on Thursday, it's like Monday, like on Thursday, you have to meet me at this place." So they had some time. So it was cut together nicely, but like I think in real life, it really sort of like start and stoppy kind of a period.
Were they already in Norway for that? They were, right?
For her getting sent home?
She got sent home from Panama, but then she had to fly to Norway, right? Yes, she did, because they were walking around sightseeing, and they
Oh, right.
and they were
Yeah.
like this really awkward tension. So that's actually really far.
So she had to fly from Panama to
Wisconsin,
Norway to
Norway.
home.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's what Teresa had to do.
Yeah.
But I think Naya had to fly to Norway too.
Yeah, she did.
And then get sent home. So she flew from Panama to Norway just to get sent
they
home
said
to
it was
Atlanta.
like 18 hours too.
16, yeah, which is insane.
It's really far.
It's far.
Give me some
That's
drugs
far.
or give me first class.
We took a 14-hour flight, and about 8 hours in, my wife looked at me and says, "I can't do this."
I know,
and
it's
was like
awful.
looking at like the emergency exit door, like let's just jump and just see what happens.
It's really terrible. I'm trying to think of the longest flight I took. I think it's been like it was like 12 hours and it was miserable.
Yeah.
I hate that. Anyway, so that was interesting with Naya. I mean, they obviously, and then they had like the PSA, like hate speech and all that. Naya just came off looking really small.
And then if you put yourself in the producer's shoes, right? And like I'm sure they had this conversation. They're like, look, like I'm like you can make me like, hey, that wasn't that bad. Like, oh,
Right.
it wasn't that big a deal. But then like at the end of the day, you're like, look, like she's touching someone else's genitalia without consent. Like that has to be a line that we don't allow.
Sure.
Or else like we're opening this Pandora's box of Bad Girl Club.
And
you know what I mean?
And it's not okay. And if he had done that to her, it would have been perceived, I think, worse just because of like the implications of sexual
gender
assault.
stuff,
And,
yeah.
So I think they made the right call. And it's hard to disagree because Nia came off so hateful in the whole tirade. Like, you don't want to support someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no but. You know what I mean? If you're making the argument, it's like, well, yeah, she did all that, but like you can't.
There's
know what I
no
mean?
but here. There's really she made it was a bad display.
There's no but there's a booty belt.
There's a booty belt.
Which she has to fall back on.
Seriously. Oh man. So that was only the first like 10 minutes of the episode too. Like there was so much more beyond that. It's crazy.
And then we get this final.
Yeah. So then there's the dome. And Teresa just owns Nani. Like it's not even really a rivalry. Teresa always wins.
No. In anything physical, Nani wins in every single argument.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Because Teresa just like won't fight back.
I know, but that's losing.
Sure.
In my book.
I dislike both of them, but I dislike Teresa more.
Really? Why?
I think because in her fight behavior is like just like kind of she won't engage. As someone who doesn't fight that often, but like when I do get into a fight with someone, if they don't fight back, it makes me furious. Like I'm just like
mental note.
You do it to me all the time already, so don't worry about it. And so I just like it bothers me that she doesn't want to engage with Nani. Just like come on. Go there with her.
Yeah, there's
Get the
plenty.
courtesy.
I feel like if you want me to Sereno de Bergerac you in that one, like I've got lines against Nani.
Yeah, I know.
Lines on lines on lines.
Nani's giving you the lines. I mean, like all you have to say to her is, "quote What does me not respecting myself have to do with you?"
Anything. Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Or what did she say? What do you care if I don't respect myself?
It was great.
It was amazing.
I kind of like that line actually.
I guess.
What's that got to do with me?
Nani must be like magnetic in person. Is the impression I get because people seem to be really drawn to her. And I think it doesn't come across on television.
But you know what we're skipping over, which is the best part of the episode?
Was
when Nani headed, like before the the final elimination that gets you into the final, they went out. And her and Jenna just wanted to let loose. And, let's just say they let loose. And Nani came home a little hungry. Let's just see if Joe can run the clip. Here she is. In a second. Once we're done buffering.
I mean,
This is a Pop the Trunk production here, as always.
the thing about Nani is like she is, for as much she drinks, she's a really impressive competitor. Like if I had gone out as hard as she did the night before a dome, I would have.
Was it the night before a dome though?
Or was it like 2 nights before?
If something like that, at least Bananas was like, dude, like slow down. Don't do 6 shots. Oh, here she is.
Granola bar. Do we have Reese's peanut butter cups? No, we don't. I want Reese's peanut butter cups. So why do you don't have any? This is I love it.
The best part is the end. If you're just
dropped her
listening to
head.
this, yeah, she's like, this is the transcription. Do we have a granola bar? Do we have Reese's peanut butter cups? Someone's like, no. She's like, but I want them. And then she dies.
This is I don't think I've ever seen anyone like slur their words like that in person. That's like the definition
Yeah.
of like word slurring. That's crazy. I hope I don't ever get like that. Like that is like just like beyond appropriate behavior.
She passed out mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And her head, like her neck muscles could no longer
She's not
support
even
her head.
like lying in a true horizontal position.
No.
She's like lying on
She's
Jenna.
out. And
She's
her
great.
and Jenna got slammered. Do you know what my theory with this one is?
What?
14, 16-hour flight just throws your body off.
Oh,
You know what I
interesting.
mean? Like your just body is just like you don't know if you're tired or you're in a new place. If you're awake, you've like it's just kind of like all over the place. And you have a bunch of shots.
That's a really good point. And
Yeah.
also kind to Nani for you to assume that something just so generous because this is a really bad display. Also, like, who knows what the liquor is like in Norway? You know, maybe she wasn't familiar with
First
it.
of all, bad display. She wants a peanut butter cups.
That's true. That's not.
Peanut butter cups are good.
That's not my candy of choice when I'm drunk. I don't think.
I know, but she asked for a granola bar.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a smarter choice.
She was trying to get ready for the final.
Yeah.
She's like, let me get a power bar. Let me get a Clips bar.
Getting
Give
her
me some
protein
steroids.
in.
Oh, fine. Peanut butter cup.
And then she just passed out.
And then she passed out.
I've noticed on Instagram that her and Jenna have a lasting friendship. So this is just the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, they like hang together.
I have no comment on Jenna's behavior because I can only say mean things. I'm trying not to be that mean.
We've
this,
already
this
gotten
episode.
It. Gotten in on her, so
Yeah,
it's quite
exactly.
enough. That was
Exactly.
pretty amazing. They certainly seem like they have a fun time. It's probably more fun to go out when you're down to 8 than like when you're at like 16 or 30.
Oh, disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
Traveling in packs though, I think 8 is a great amount. You have enough people to like mix it up, like every 30 minutes move on to someone new.
I'm sorry. If you
And
had
then-
14 minutes in for the snaps to come out, then you won. You're closest to the hole.
Anyway, I just think 8 is like a great party number. It's a good number of people.
I think the 8's a good, but like when you have 10, you can splinter off. You know what I mean? You can have like 4 people and be like, this bar is lame and go somewhere else, and like no one cares in the other 6.
I guess. But like there's still like I think 2 is good for splintering. I mean, I'll splinter at 1. If I'm not having fun, deuces, I'm out.
Out on yourself. You're like, if
Yeah.
I'm hanging out by myself, I'm out. I'm splintering. That's it.
Anyway, they seem like they had a great time in Norway. And then Banani, they lost to Leroy and Teresa.
Yeah, they got handled. You know what I mean? Like, I think that.
Well, Bananas broke his rib. He claims.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Ooh.
he was hurt. He hurt his rib. Let's just say that. Like, he was definitely hurt. And also, one thing I like is that Leroy and Bananas are training partners. Anyone who's really just like done a deep dive on YouTube have seen their training videos. So they have an actual relationship. And I always like it when you're like pitted up against your friend.
Yeah, of course.
And then, like the whole bite they do, like, look, all friendships are out the window. This is all about the championship.
Right, and that's why Sarah put you in Bananas. Like
Exactly.
deal with it.
Exactly.
Leroy is like the sleeper like hit success story of the season. This is the best he's ever performed. Astounding physical performance from him.
Well, if you remember when he crapped out, and like it was like 2 years ago. I want to call it the gulag when he was like,
Yeah, when he was with Mike.
yeah,
his homie.
when Mike,
That
yeah,
was, you know what? That was Rivals because Adam Royer got sent home.
got sent
and
home.
Mike came in.
Yeah, but at one point he was in some like final or something. He just didn't have the stamina. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this season he's been performing really well.
And maybe it's because he's training with Bananas. Like,
That's
the
what I was thinking.
master.
Like, but like still, like, how about like 10 less hours in the gym, 10 more hours in the pool?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you still shouldn't be scared of swimming and your third challenge.
I love that he's asking random people if they know how to swim. It's just amazing. So good. Like to be his partner. I've been thinking about this season and like the overall scheme of things, our lives, how
First of all, just stop right there. God bless you, Juliet. I was thinking about this season overall and like our lives and how things are. That's what you should be doing every second of every day.
I'm really committed to
That's
my work.
what you should be
you know?
doing.
I just,
Good for you, Juliet.
I
just think about those things.
I just want to be the best podcast partner I can be for you.
You're doing okay.
Okay, cool. Banana's career arc really mirrors that of LeBron James. It's kind of amazing.
I'd say more like a Tim Duncan type. He's got 5 championships.
I know, but like just like the rise and fall, like he started petering off
There's
right
no
when LeBron
fall.
did.
Oh, I'm pro Bananas. You forgot that Bananas won 9 exile things.
Yeah, but
he had the toughest road. He was in the
okay,
elimination
those were-
every single week.
Those were like really stupid challenges. They're like with like the water, like with the paint and the sweat and stuff. Like,
Those
come
are
on.
pretty dumb. Sure,
They're
sure.
like whatever. I'm sorry. I stand by it. It's kind of like he's kind of passed his baton is being passed. And
Oh, I think you're just like a Monday morning quarterback rush to judgment, like first taking this one.
I've kind of ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think that I don't love Bananas as much as you do for whatever reason. I never have. And I don't know. I'm not sure I believe in him winning again.
Great. Just tell him that at the next Grantland party.
I will. I have no problem doing that.
He'll throw you in the pool.
Oh my God, that's my biggest fear at every party with the pool that I attend. You gotta stay 5 yards from the pool at all times.
All times.
Especially depending on shoes.
I'm not worried about clothes. It's more just
Cell
phone.
phone?
Yeah. Like the whole you can't push anybody in the pool anymore. It used to be such a good gig.
Worse than that is hair. Having wet hair for the rest of the time and like my mascara on my face, disaster. Nah.
Nah, not a problem for me.
Well, falling in the pool is legitimately my number one fear in life. Not just party fear, just like fear, full stop.
Another mental note.
I'm revealing so much today.
I'll be like, Julia, let me hold your phone for a second. Can I call my phone with yours?
Do you know who wins this season?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm hoping.
I don't know, but like they did, and I just saw this from my Twitter feed. You probably saw the same thing. That like there was something mentioned in the after show that I don't want to say that was like. At least I got tweeted about it. That was kind of surprising that the producers like put
Left
in
it
there.
in.
Yeah.
They've really kind of thrown in the towel this season.
What do you mean?
Like,
I've liked this season.
no, I've liked it, but they're just sort of like, oh, it's on at 11. Like, you know.
There'll be another season of this. Have they confirmed another season of Real World?
I don't think so. I only heard about it from you last weekend.
That it was confirmed?
Yeah,
people tweeted like, oh, don't worry, Real World confirmed, and I just take that as like an actual fact.
I don't know for sure.
We'll do some research.
Maybe. I don't know.
What do you think about the final?
It sounds hard. I don't like cold weather finals. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it gets cold. It gets like harder and harder every year. But this year they're like, here's Mount Hugo or whatever, and then they show it. They're like, you're gonna be climbing to the top of that, and they show the mountain. It's like a jagged edge cliff rock thing. Like there's no way to get there without a helicopter. Like at what point is someone just gonna die? They'd be like, maybe we took this too far.
I know. Honestly, it's like this is K2 or something. I saw that movie when I was young, and it was really traumatized me. Never forgotten
Have
it.
you climbed any mountains since?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
Too
it's
scared.
so weird. So
Too
weird.
Scared.
So weird.
I don't know. I really hope Sarah and Jordan win. It'd be amazing for like a rock climbing challenge to be won by Jordan.
Jordan has done enough this season alone just to sort of like cement his spot in every challenge.
Totally. Also, one thing, just going back a little bit, like they shouldn't have been so mad. Like Nia should have been taking it out more on Sarah than Jordan, because you saw Jordan advocating for Jenna and Jay.
Yeah.
Like I guess she just still has problems with Jordan. I just think like she tries so hard to like. I think she's like pretty smart. She knows that like what her weaknesses are, and she tried so hard for like 8 out of 10 episodes to hold it in.
Oh, I'm going the other way. I think she's pretty smart and she knows what's going to end up making the cut. I think she kind of goes off and curses people out, knowing in the back of her mind that this is going to make her like a quote unquote star.
Interesting.
Because if you're just like you saw what happened to like the rational, normal human being, semi-normal human being like Becca on The Bachelor, it's just like not interesting. It's like she's like, I'm not in love with you. Like this is weird, man.
The thing about Becca, she was totally normal, except for like never having any boyfriends or whatever.
Yeah.
But she was boring. But one other thing that we skipped over from Drunk Nani that was like mind blowing to me is that she was really drunk and she was like, "I'm 25. I'm ready to have babies."
Which part was mind blowing?
The fact that she was 25.
Okay, thank you.
Completely believe she's ready to have babies. Nani could have been anywhere from 15 to 40, and I would have been like,
even blinked an eye. Yeah.
But I was like 25. Like that's like.
Pretty young.
Is that older or younger than I was expecting? Like she's been in my life for so long. That, like,
how old was she in the real world then?
I think she was 21. I'm pretty sure.
And Nani's Adam Royer's girlfriend from Vegas, right? Yeah.
And I don't think they had anyone under 21 on that season because they couldn't go out.
Yeah. They couldn't even like be on the casino floor.
Yeah. So I think she was 21.
She must be about to be 26 then.
Yeah, because they filmed over the summer.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
She's probably 26 now.
Yeah. So that's just kind of like blows my mind. Like,
and it's like also like you know, it's not 1945. Like, you can be 25 and not have babies. Like, it's like,
Oh my
you know what I
God,
mean?
yeah.
Like, this is like,
No.
you're not like behind, girl.
For the record, that's young. Like,
yeah,
that's on the younger
yeah,
side of
exactly.
things.
Like, you're not, your biological clock is like not even ticking yet. Like, no one's even said it.
No. Just the babies thing was just like, oh, she's drunk. She's being
Yeah,
silly.
she's just saying
Just
stuff.
like her age, like really gave me some pause. I had to like, because it like contextualizes her in a way, and I never think about her.
You know what, Juliet? Something else I want to mention about Drunk Nani that we haven't mentioned yet.
Uh-huh.
Why do you plug your nose when you take a shot?
So you don't taste it as much, because like if it's really cold, you don't smell it anyway, because like smell is part of taste.
That's totally fine, right? But here's my thing: is like,
Shots don't have smells.
no one else does that. This isn't like a. This isn't a practice.
You're not
It's
like jumping into a cold lake.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a lime and salt. Like, oh, this is part of what taking a shot is. It's like, why are you the only person on the planet that employs this tactic?
Right. I don't know. Is she the only one? I don't know.
Probably.
Probably. It was a weird move. It's also like, Nani, you've taken so many shots in your life, you're still doing this. It's kind of like an amateur move. It's like before you learn how to swim, you have to hold your nose before you know how to like blow out of it. It's like, well, Nani, you are an expert in taking shots. Like you should be able to do it.
Yeah, you were the Michael Jordan of shot taking.
Down the hatch, girl.
Yeah, I like how Johnny Bananas is like, I told you not to take 6 shots. He's like, look, 5 shots.
Five,
like,
fine.
It's totally fine. You just spread them out a little bit, have some water, like no big deal. But that 6th shot is really where it gets you.
I can't walk if I've taken 6 shots. So the fact that she's even able to ask for a peanut butter cup was impressive.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah,
And she qualified. She's like, don't give me one of those, like, you know, like Whole Foods white label peanut butter cups. We've all seen those. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, they're
Not as
all right.
good.
Like, they're still good. Like,
not
I
as
mean, it's
good.
not going to be a bad peanut butter cup.
Right,
It's not
but
Reese's.
not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
No.
And also, one thing, shout to Reese's Pieces, like the actual Reese's Pieces, an underappreciated candy.
Completely disagree. Could not disagree more. That's crazy. Wow. If I'm having a peanut butter little morsel, it better be a peanut butter M&M, chocolate and peanut butter.
What?
Yeah. No, I don't get down with Reese's Pieces.
We're not friends anymore.
All right, let's talk about the other people who aren't friends anymore. Vanderpump Rules reunion.
Everybody and Stassi.
Everybody and Stassi.
How did it break this way?
I don't know. So this week we find out that the reason Stassi really hates Sheena. What did we think it was
First
before?
of all,
what reason do we think it was before? By the way,
why Stassi really hated Shayna? I'm trying to go back.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to track all these different relationships.
With Katie, it's because Katie went on the
Went on
Bachelor
the thing
bit.
with Sheena.
With Kristen's because she slept with Jackson.
Yeah.
Lied about it. Sheena, I have no idea.
I guess they never really explained it until the reunion.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like Stassi being in a feud is so natural that I never thought.
Yeah, I don't
like,
need reasoning. You know what I mean?
It's like such a regular thing to happen. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I believe it completely. So it comes out though that the reason Stassi hates Sheena is because there's footage, just footage of Stassi out there.
What kind of footage?
I think it might be racy. I think Stassi might have made it
Like
herself.
racial?
No, like sexual.
Like she masturbated on camera, sent it to her boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay,
Like,
I don't know why you're dancing around that. I mean, come on.
that was like I think kind of a fun exchange. So.
Oh, sorry. I just wasn't having any fun.
Oh, you're bored. Okay.
Okay.
So Stassi masturbated on camera, sent it to an ex-boyfriend, and then a boyfriend came.
A said ex-boyfriend comes to
Sir,
Sir.
and shows it to everyone, like walks around,
Yeah.
like show and tell. Do you think he brought a laptop? Was it on his iPhone?
It's got to be on his phone.
Is it like on a private YouTube account? Like how does he do that?
How does he probably has it on his phone saved to his cloud or whatever the hell?
I guess he's a fap, but he could be part of the fappening.
Yeah.
Something. She could be.
She could. And then
And then Stassi accuses Sheena of showing it to other people, but Sheena's like, no, I only watched it. That's all I did.
Which is fair. I'm sure that the guy never like emailed it to Sheena, and Sheena was probably like, hey, everybody else, check this out. And then Sheena made some comment like, you should sell that to TMZ. And I get it. Like through telephone, it could seem like Sheena wanted him to actually do that, but I could see that being like an offhand comment that you make in jest.
Sure. This totally changes my view of Stassi, who's like seemed to be fairly chill with leaving the show and all this stuff. And if she stays on the show and stays like Alpha Stassi, like we saw her the first 2 seasons, that video is much more valuable. If she kind of goes away and is like less famous, that video is like, who cares? It's like a
If
former
that
reality
video
person.
were to be released, let's play it out. Like that's like a 3-day news story.
Yeah, how much money do you think that someone could get for it?
I have no
like I don't know
idea.
how much sex tapes
like
cost.
remember the what's her face from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta sex tape?
What's her name?
Nico and whatever her name is.
I can't remember.
I forget it. It's just lost in my brain right now. Like the shower rod thing. It was like a
Yeah.
news story for like 2 days, and like apparently they made a bunch
and it
of
was
money
also
from
a news
it.
story in a very limited sphere of like the world.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, and it was like, but it seemed like a big deal for 48 hours and just goes away. So you ask how much money is made from
That's
that? Like
true.
very little.
I mean, but I still like, even if it's only a big deal for a short time, like if you were the person in the video and you don't want it out there, a lot of people who make sex tapes will want them out there.
Really?
Like there's always been rumors that Kim Kardashian released hers herself to become famous, right? And so
I could see that. And then people want to employ that same thing, but it's sort of like that tact loses its
Yeah,
effectiveness once it becomes
right.
like a tact.
Yeah, it's like we get it. Like you're trying to like pull a Kimmy K here.
Yeah, I don't want to see sex tapes you want me to see.
Right.
I want to see sex tapes you don't want me to see.
Like
yeah.
the ones that were like really supposed to be private.
Yes.
The ones that
Is Tommy Lee and Pam like the first?
I saw her recently. She looks fantastic.
Shout to her.
Great.
God, it just, ladies, if you're out there and listening to this, like, don't get a barbed wire tattoo.
No.
Do you remember that movie Barb she was in, and that was like part of her whole thing? No. It was like her first, like, I don't know if her first, but like her post Baywatch move as a movie star was to be Barb, which is like some chick with like a gun or whatever, and she got this like barbed wire tattoo, which is kind of like, it's hard to age gracefully with like a barbed wire tattoo.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I don't recommend tattoos in general. Like,
yeah, I don't at all.
I can't think of anything I want on my body for the rest of my life, like except for like the natural things that grow on their own.
Clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so that's my So that comes out. Stassi looks like really uncomfortable and upset. I felt bad for her.
I feel really bad for her. She's graced this studio herself on multiple occasions.
She's she's a sassy girl, but like you guys all knew that. Like
yeah.
I don't know. They're just so mean to her. They just keep
And there's this
on.
one point where they like everybody take 5, and I didn't realize what taking 5 meant like in that world, which is like every single person has their glam
Your
squad
groomer come
up.
out, yeah.
It was like every person has a dedicated groomer. Like if we do a shoot here at Grantland, we'll have like one makeup person who will like take care of everybody. But at the Bravo shoots, you've got at least one person per person.
Oh, at least minimum.
Yeah, and they're brushing Sheena's hair and doing this, and like she looks over at Kate, she's like, "Why are you being so mean? Like, like I thought we weren't gonna like do this on camera." And I felt bad for her. I just feel bad for her because like it's hard to watch somebody get ganged up on, but at the same time, it's not like without merit. You know what I mean?
And certainly, one thing that I do take issue with though is they were pissed at her. There was an implication that she stopped hanging out with them when she got her new boyfriend. And
everybody does that always.
I'm gonna say that's like natural. Like I'm
Yes.
sorry. Like if Patrick is the one for her, then like that makes sense to me. Like yes, you should fully invest in him. He's gonna be with you
Totally.
for the rest of your life. Like go for it. That makes sense.
And it's also like
Also, yes, she doesn't want to be around Jax anymore, and you guys are still friends with Jax. I wouldn't want to be around him either.
if one of your friends you've been friends with for a long time finds a new like true love interest, you just understand.
Yeah, you're happy
Get
for
it.
them.
And you also are going to do the same thing yourself if that
Sure.
happens to you.
Sure.
Like no biggie.
I feel like, when girls are young, it's like chicks before dicks, and when guys are young, it's like bros before hoes. But there's a point where those rules don't apply. It's like,
I think it's like senior year graduation of high school.
I think
you know what I mean?
if you find someone, like, go for it. Jump
Yeah,
in.
do it.
I know. It really makes me mad. Like, don't hold her boyfriend and her nice relationship against her.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to maintain those relationships. You can't just
Sure.
completely abandon an entire friend group, but like
Sure.
you don't have to like be the same.
Right. It's just, I know. That made me mad. It's like, that's not how humans are as you get older. Grow up, guys. Finding out their ages, too, is just crazy. Tom Schwartz is 32.
So this is the argument that's happening around my couch at Tom Schwartz. I was looking at him. I was like, that guy just doesn't look like a model. And my wife is like, yeah, he does. He's a model. He's a very, very handsome man. Your take?
I think he's very handsome. I think he's certainly
Maybe I just don't see it because I know his
Certainly
personality. You know
the
what I
most
mean?
handsome of anyone on the show, in my opinion.
What? That's what she said too. What about Jax?
Ew! No!
What about Jax?
I find him repulsive. First of all, I don't like that, like, the obvious, like, supplement look. Like, I don't like that.
It's not stopping either. Like, 'cause remember when he threw all
getting
that stuff
worse.
away or whatever?
Yeah.
You can tell that his head is kind of like Barry Bonds.
But even, like, young Jax, I don't find attractive. Like, I don't find him attractive at all.
Not Miami Jax?
No.
I was like, Jax and Sandoval, like, were roommates in Miami, like, 10 years ago.
12 years ago.
Like, they're like,
Jax
that's a
is-
long time.
Jax is, like, your contemporary. It's really weird.
God.
It's really, really weird. And, like, I don't understand how he keeps finding girls. Like, no.
Good for Jax.
You know who else? And then it's just
Does
like
Jax get more or less girls since the show? Like, more.
probably more. Yeah, more.
There's a whole, like, subculture of women that go to SUR to sleep with the dudes that work there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I want to go there at 4 o'clock and sit at the end of the bar and like just
see who comes
slowly
in.
order beers over the course of like 8 hours and just
my
like
God.
watch what happens.
We should do we should do that. That would be good. Like record it, like
just
our
to see,
conversation.
I just want to see the different girls come up and flirt with like the dudes that are on the show.
I bet most of them are over the age of 40.
Oh, I was going the other way. I bet most of them are like between 21 and 25.
You think so? Oh, it's probably the two
Yeah.
ends of the spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
like younger than 25 and over
the
45.
40. Yeah.
And then like Tom Sandoval, I mean, like, God, he's just gross to me too. They're all gross. And then Sandoval and Jax, like you guys are like fighting with what's that kid's name? The British one?
James.
Just like he's 20 years old.
He like literally is like 21.
He's
What
like
is
22.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you guys doing? He's a kid.
I would never get in an argument with a 22-year-old.
Of course not.
That was like serious about like life and stuff. Like I'll get in an argument over like, hey, you stepped on my sneakers or whatever.
I'm
like,
29 and I feel weird hanging out with 25-year-olds. Like,
well, that's in your own head.
okay,
Yeah.
fine. But like, it's just like, guys, you're too old for this. And it's just like, oh my God. It's crazy. They live like they just graduated from college and they're 35 years old.
I just like how Tom is like, yeah, back when me and James used to be friends and doing music together. Like, what, when he was like 19?
I know.
Like, when were you guys friends
Back
doing
in the
music
day.
together?
Also, he like just got here from England. How long have you guys known him?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Also,
is
James, you're
bizarre.
not a family friend of Lisa V.
No.
You're not.
You're not just no. It was one thing that was interesting is that it seemed like Andy genuinely didn't know about Stassi's sex tape.
I didn't know.
I know, but you think that Andy has all the secrets, you know?
Yeah, you do. Here's one thing that went through my head because I watched like some of those Watch What Happens after Vanderpump because I love Vanderpump so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching. I'm like, what does Andy think about these people? Because I've seen
Doesn't
him
respect them.
I've seen him like be like outwardly like not nice, which is very rare for that show to both Jax and Tom Sandoval. And I was like kind of like catching his vibe during the reunion. It just felt a little off.
That reunion, I think, was not a success. It was dark. It didn't didn't make me look forward to the next season. Really,
No.
It kind of made me want to be like, break up the band, guys. Like the magic is gone here. You
A
all hate
little
each
bit.
other.
It did kind of feel like that. Like I think whatever
Also,
it was, but who knows? Maybe it was like, oh, we have to film this at 6 a.m. because Sir opens at 10. Like who knows what the circumstances were that led to that thing? But that thing was not like fun.
Also, like Mean Alert, everyone looks like at least 30% worse than they do on the show. Like I just was distracted by how bad everyone looked.
We'll just put Mean Alert at the front of the podcast just so it can be like a blanket one. Like when someone's sneezing a lot, you don't have to say bless you every time. You know what I mean? Like let's just do like a blanket Mean Alert every time we turn the microphones
Mean
on.
Alert, Mean Alert. Well, Vanderpump, we'll still watch you next season, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been a fun ride.
I love Vanderpump and I love what's happened this year. I feel like every year increasingly like people catch the Vanderpump fever.
Totally.
And it's contagious, man. And
People
it's
are
good.
into it.
I do think that they are like I'd say Vale was not a success.
No, you noticed she wasn't even at the reunion.
I never really considered that, but she wasn't really a success as an additive. And I think that like it's hard to add someone to a show which is based on a circle of
group.
friends with a true history. However, transition alert.
Shaws of Sunset is doing it really well.
Weird watch of the week, Shaws of Sunset.
So you fully watched it. I kind of watched
That's
it.
fine. Does anyone fully watch any of this?
No.
Yeah, let's be honest.
No.
I fully watch Empire. That's what I fully watch. Everything else I kind of watch.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Do it.
So the thing about Shaw's is like it's tapping into a real community, like a real phenomenon here. So it's kind of like a fountain that keeps refilling.
Yes.
That even though they might not be best friends, it's kind of like there's a baseline from which all these people are operating. And not that they're all the same, but there is like an actual community of Iranians in Los Angeles. So they're able to like go back to that well to get new people to be on the show.
Well, last year they went to like this Dallas well.
Lily.
Oil well, if you will. Yeah. And they brought Lillian, which just like really didn't work. So I think they're like, all right, we need some new faces. So let's sort of like extend from this world. And they brought us Shervin and Safi.
Safi and Bobby.
Bobby.
By the way, I've seen Gigi at 2 Clippers games. She's a Clippers diehard.
What?
Yes, and she has like good seats.
Mm.
Yeah, seen her twice.
All right.
No hair extensions.
First of all, let me just say this. This is completely unfounded. 99% not true. But in a hypothetical world in which she was dating one of the Clippers, which Clipper would she date?
Oh my god.
First of all, like there's no one else on the planet that is more suited to answer this question than Juliet Littman.
If she were dating a Clipper, she would be dating. Oh my god, this is so hard.
How hard is this really?
Well, I don't know. Like, It'd be really fun if she dated DeAndre Jordan because he's so tall and she's so little. And I don't know.
Here's my take on dating Gigi.
Okay.
She's attractive. Mm-hmm. She's articulate. You know what I mean? She's like, she can speak. She seems chill. And I think that she's that girl that like you meet via friends or out or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, like this can like be a thing. Like this can go somewhere.
And then you find out like 6 weeks later.
Exactly. And then she like really shows the real like, whoa, like this woman is crazy, crazy, crazy.
I think I would have gone with Reggie Bullock if he was still on the team.
Really?
Yeah. Not that famous, but still in the NBA.
I'm gonna go Austin Rivers.
No. Come on. Come on. No way.
Just for fun.
No.
But Gigi is that girl. Like she's hot. You know what I mean? She's objectively hot, but then like oh, she is just a mess.
A mess.
Total mess.
And who's she dating now? Is she dating anyone?
On the show?
She had that crazy relationship last year and she cheated on him.
And they're like fighting each other and all that stuff.
So this week, like there was a fight at the barbecue.
Yeah.
And it's
between the Bobbies, which is really confusing when you don't really know everyone's name in the first place because they just started a new season.
Hey, I have a question for you. I wasn't paying close attention at this point. Have Mike and Reza made up at all?
Yes.
So I don't like that. Again, Mike is being ostracized for being too into his girl. They're like, oh, Mike had to go.
That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. It's like,
guys, we've seen that
he's going to get married to this girl.
Yeah, and also she puts forth a big effort for him, so he needs to put it forth back.
But at the same time, like,
why can't she come?
Remember when she left the thing, and like all of a sudden it was a lot of fun, and like this crew is at their best. I enjoy watching them the most when they're all having fun.
Right.
Like they really are fun when they're just like partying together, and making fun of each other, and Rez is doing one-liners, and they're like doing a booty contest or whatever.
Totally.
Like that is fun.
Reza and his fiance, he's only met his fiance's father twice. Mm-hmm. That's very little for being engaged to someone. That's wild.
Yeah, that was a storyline that was like necessary but a little like awkward.
Well, it's necessary because Reza has kind of been like the heart of the show for as long as it's been on.
Yeah,
and the big thing going on in his life is he's gonna get married, but his partner has like a very complicated relationship with his family about him being gay. So it's like that's like a little bit too real for this show. Like, let's go back to the barbecue fights. You know, why did I even bring it up?
Yeah, for real.
I'm sorry.
Barbecue fights. So they're having a staycation. And did they rent this place in Malibu?
I think so.
Like the show probably rented it
for a day.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like overlooking a cliff, like a modern mansion,
one
swimming
of the best
pool.
things about LA staycations here, because like there's so many different areas you can just like.
One weekend you're like, I'm gonna get a B&B in Venice or whatever. Like, what is this that
great.
you're doing?
Yeah, I've done that.
I know, it's weird.
I did it in Newport Beach last year. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
Maybe I'll do this.
Because like you don't have to go that far, but you feel like you're on vacation.
In a different place. Yeah.
It's awesome. I highly recommend it. So anyway, keep telling us what happened.
They did this. They have a barbecue, and it's the main cast, and they start adding people and adding people.
So brilliant way to introduce new people.
Yeah. So then they've got this Bobby is I want to say her name's Asafi, but it might not be. Whatever.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, the new skinny girl, and she's got a boyfriend named Bobby, and then there's this other Bobby who's like some sort of millionaire, I suppose. They keep bringing that up, and then like Rez is trying to hook Gigi up with him, and Rez is like, no. I mean, Gigi's like, no, he doesn't have tattoos, blah 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 blah, and then he's clearly drunk, and he's on a television show, and then he just starts calling again. I hate to butcher her name. It's like Asafi, I forget her, the new skinny girl who is part Indian, part Persian, and part something else.
Yeah.
He starts calling
pretty.
her like the Indian girl.
Yeah.
Just like in front of everybody on microphone, just like being like, you know, bigoted.
Right.
It's just like again, it's like there's only one way to say it.
Right. It's just like not a good look.
And then her boyfriend's there, and like he like kind of doesn't defend her as enough to my liking.
He didn't defend her that much. No.
Yeah, but like she was like, you know, letting Bobby have it or whatever, and then it turned into one of these like NBA fights where everyone's getting held back, and apparently Bobby punched the other Bobby once or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it was a mess, but it was a great way to introduce new people.
Yeah.
With a real conflict, you know, like everyone's in part of it. It's almost as if they scripted it.
Yeah.
While you were talking, I just thought, you know, it'd be great if Gigi and Jax hooked up, but I think they have. Wasn't that rumored?
Gigi and Jax? I think
Yeah.
that was on a Watch What Happens Live. That was brought up.
It makes so much sense.
It does.
It's a great.
The thing is like I
great
think in the
match.
back of their mind they hook up, or was it was before or like after they were on shows?
I think it was after. I think I met through Bravo.
I think they kind of know in their back of the mind it's going to come up at some point later.
Mm.
Anybody that hooks up with Jax has to know that it's not going to stay in the vault.
It's not a secret.
You know what I mean? If you tell Jax anything, you're basically putting it in the front page
He
of the
has
Times.
like the loosest of lips. It's just ridiculous.
And he'll make stuff up that's not true.
Right.
He does no qualms just like saying things that aren't true out loud.
I wouldn't even tell him my name, like out of fear of what he would like spin that into.
You would totally tell him your name.
I would
You're
come
going
with-
to when we go to Sir.
I'm gonna come with a fake name just so I don't.
What's your
just,
fake name?
I don't know. Amanda, maybe.
All right.
Can you
That'll
see
play.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see Amanda.
All right, cool.
That'll work.
All right, so we're gonna keep watching Shaw's. We both want to watch Southern Charm with Cameron from the First Real World San Diego, who's
Yeah.
married now and Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
I think they also did.
Southern Charm. Did you watch last season?
Yes, I did a little bit.
There was this great redhead that slept with 3 guys in the show, and now she's pregnant with one of the guys in the show.
Yep.
There's this one senator guy who was like, kicked out of politics for doing cocaine. There's this one woman, I saw one scene from this season, and her butler brings her breakfast, and she's lying in bed surrounded by she's like Zsa Zsa Gabor of like
Shout out
South
to her.
Carolina. Yeah. She's like lying in a bed surrounded by furs and like gowns, and her butler puts a tray in front of her while she's propped up in bed with like a perfect breakfast spread of like a pancake and some eggs and like juice and sausage or whatever. And I have a hot take for you.
Okay.
Breakfast in bed, way overrated.
So overrated. Because
So overrated.
eating
It's an
in-
awkward way of eating.
eating in bed is also kind of gross.
Kind of gross,
You
and it's
sleep
like
there.
it's very difficult to eat while lying down. I challenge
Sure.
anybody to do so, but it's also like you're not sitting straight up either, and like it's just not ideal. Like I would rather just be like, hey, can I have a cup of coffee
Yeah,
in
coffee in
bed?
bed, yeah.
And then you come and like kind of just like talk to me for a bit, and then we can like make our way to the breakfast
Sure.
nook.
Also, I don't want some place where I sleep and like lie down to be near food. Like that's just kind of gross.
Totally.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Don't
All
eat
right.
in bed.
No. News time.
News.
All the news this week is like kind of depressing, so we're gonna go through it really fast.
Okay.
Scott Disick is in rehab in a Costa Rican facility where sources say he may have been paid to go.
Oh, see, I've been following this story very closely.
Okay.
Because I love the Lord, and I've actually Vice did a thing on this guy, and I don't know if it's the same thing, but I believe it's where is this place? In Costa Rica. You go and you take, I think it's an African plant. It might be a Costa Rican plant, but it's like it's some sort of trip thing where you go on like some big old trip and like you take a mental trip to like find out your demons and where this like addiction problem comes from inside you.
Okay, and that's what he's supposedly doing at this facility.
Yeah.
And then Perez Hilton and Blind Gossip suggested that maybe he was paid to go to that very specific facility.
That would make sense.
I mean, that's.
But it's like, here's the thing.
That's just like he has a real problem. We've seen it on TV.
I get doing paid appearances at nightclubs, but when you start doing paid appearances at rehabs, it's like also like, dude, like your family is so rich.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Also, you've got 3 kids now, so like,
yeah, dude.
make
like,
the right decision. I hope he gets well.
I'm starting to think that maybe Scott Disick isn't the most mature adult.
I'm beginning to think maybe reality TV is not helpful with addictions.
It's a great point.
Let's move on real quick. Night, our rest in peace. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
accidental overdose. Apparently,
The toxicology report came out.
Yes.
He was doing a bunch of things and ended up in a bad way.
so sad. All right, less sad. Jade from The Bachelor. She might go on Shark Tank because she's trying to develop her organic makeup line.
right.
This is interesting. I read about this.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. I have a
let me-
lot of follow-up
hold-
questions.
hold-
All right, I'll stand by.
I think it might change some of the questions you want to ask. Apparently, one of the reasons she wants to make this organic makeup line is because she wants people who are undergoing chemotherapy to be able to have makeup that they don't have to worry about like affecting their system because of toxins and still feel pretty.
Love it.
It's a nice idea.
I love it. Is that, I mean, I've never had chemo, but I imagine that's a real thing. She wouldn't make this otherwise. I love it. I think that's great.
I do too.
That's actually a really good business move.
Totally. It's also like very sweet. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a nice person.
Yeah, good for Jade.
So I hope she goes on Shark Tank.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
What if like Jade and Mark Cuban became like best friends?
They know each other.
He's familiar with her work.
Yeah, they know each other. They know each other. Let's be honest. Here's my thing about that is Jade saying you might go on Shark Tank, like, what is the qualification for that? Like, I might go on Shark Tank. I've got ideas for stuff.
You do?
Yeah, like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm like, might go on Shark Tank. Is she publicly asking to go on Shark Tank? Is that what's really happening?
I don't know. Unfortunately, realitytvmagazine.com didn't have all,
didn't have all the
these
deets?
answers.
That's weird.
Next, situation is broke, as we know and covered previously. But Pauly D just spent $500,000 on his own car, on a Lamborghini.
Good for him.
Lamborghini Mercy. And yeah.
There's only one Lambo for me,
What is it?
and he's dating LeBron's mom.
Non-reality news of the week. Speaking
Oh,
of...
hold on. I'm ready to soundtrack for this one.
Okay.
All right. Non-reality news of the week.
Andre Drummond.
Yep.
We know he likes to meet girls via Twitter. And apparently, he also might have a fondness for strippers. Is he dating one?
Jenna Shea is her name.
Jenna Shea. Are you familiar with her?
I only know her as Media Takeout's, quote unquote, one of Media Takeout's favorite big booty white girls.
Oh,
so I don't
interesting.
know if she's an actual erotic dancer or not, but I know that she's famous. She's Instagram-y.
Okay. On TMZ, they called her a stripper. TMZ's usually correct because they're very litigiously smart.
They are. They fact check.
I don't think this is the first time Andre Drummond has been accused of associating with a stripper.
Notable. Oh, okay.
Of a stripper. Oh, notable. Certainly not.
Yeah.
Him and Jeanette McCurdy. He's sending sneakers to Chloe Grace Moretz. You know, he's out there. He's enjoying life. What is he, 23?
Like 22,
He's
yeah.
good. He's pretty good at basketball.
Good for him.
He's having a medium season. He's good. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Jenna Shea, too.
One thing, though, I'm a little alarmed that he's on Media Takeout and TMZ so frequently. Like, I don't know. Is that what you want in your third-year player?
We need to get some advanced metrics on that. Let's get Goldsberry on that. Let's get the advanced metrics community and get some sort of stat of, like, you know, that correlates like a level of play, you know, contracts and appearances on our favorite websites.
Andre Drummond, we've got your eye on you.
Yeah, Kurt Goldsberry, get on that.
Thanks for listening this week. We'll be
Yeah.
back with like a lot of new shows next week to talk about. Hopefully, we'll watch them.
Exciting.
$1 bill, y'all.
You see, every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this fancy graphic listing all the topics that your favourite Grantland podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast adventure. Subscribe to the Grantland Podcast channel to blaze your own trail on this sonic journey.